So in this section, we're going to be soldering dissimilar weights and gauges and sizes of metal together. It's one of the things you do a lot. Think settings, bales, stuff like that. So I have this piece here. This is going to be the main metal. So this is the larger piece. And I've made this little wire bale that I think this way. I'm going to solder to the back of the piece. So not only do I have curves to deal with, but I also have wire, which is smaller and thinner than this big piece of metal. In the second part of this video, we're gonna, I don't even know if you can see this. It's so teeny. Oh, that would have been bad. I don't know how many times I've been on the floor with flashlights looking for these. Maybe if I put it on this. There's a little tiny snap set pre-made setting that I'm going to solder on here, and that will be the last solder on this piece, because you want to work in size. So usually you're going to solder larger pieces together, and then you're going to solder a medium, and then your last is usually your settings or any tiny little details. So I'm going to show you how to do that. The first thing that we need to do is to make sure that our metal is clean, and this was heat cleaned. Of course, I forgot and touched it, so I'll have to check it. If the flux doesn't lay, you know, like smooth, like on glass, on clean glass, and balls up, then I know that I have to clean it again. And then the setting on here, I'm gonna just make sure that the back is nice and clean, because sandpaper not only sands off dirt and grease, but it also makes sure that there's no burrs from the casting process. So that is ready to go. And for my wire, I want to file flat spots on here so I have more areas that touch the metal. Remember I talked about the round, you know, if you've got two rounds together, you're only touching like in one spot, as opposed to a flat area where you're touching in more, and we want that for strength. So this has to be flattened also. You see it? I've already done it, but I'm doing it again. So I've got two flat areas on here that are ready to solder this on. So now I get to figure out how to hold it all together for soldering. And that's what we're going to do now. Okay, so I am going to solder this in two different sessions. The first solder, I'm going to solder this here, and the wire will be annealed after I solder that, so it'll be easy to move over and line up that other parts that's kind of floating in the air right now. So that's what I'm going to do. I've fluxed the whole piece. I'm going to heat it up, and I'm going to put a little solder pallion next to this wall of the wire and the back piece. A little more flux on that. Wait till the bubbles come down and it glasses a little bit. Now I'm going to use medium solder for this. Cut a small piece here. There we go. Solder is on there. So I'm going to heat the back piece up. Not going to worry about the wire yet. Coming in from behind it. Occasionally swoop up on the wire. The wire is already hot, and I haven't really even touched it. Notice the cross locks holding it in position. Keep it on this side so I can watch it flow. Still, the torch is on the back metal, not on the wire. Heat the cross locks up a little bit. So if I move the torch to the right side over here, hopefully that will drag the solder through from this side to the other side. There we go. Okay, that's melted. That took a long time, didn't it? Now to sand a little flat on the back. I don't even need to pickle it because I'm going to be sanding off that clump of solder. So any oxidation on there will be sanded off. So I've fluxed everything. Yeah, and now I'm going to heat it up. I've got the cross locks on the wire on the back. They're going to act as a heat sink to keep that wire from overheating and possibly releasing the wire. And if the wire releases, the whole piece is going to fall down, and I'm going to cry. Should have warmed this up. See how that little setting is bubbling up? Stop bubbling now. Relax. Sit down. Sit down. There we go. I'm going to heat the back piece. I'm going to keep the torch away from the solder, and I'm going to keep it away from the back. Wait, I didn't mean to say that. Keep it away from the setting and the wire in the back. And we're just going to bring this main piece up to temp. It's hard to get this in. Okay, the setting is turning pink. The metal would turn there. I think we got it now. So we've checked our back. We've wiggled it hard because you don't want it coming off later. It's better to have it come off now. And the same with our setting. I'm going to try to wiggle this without crushing the prongs. So this is how the piece is going to hang. It's like I'm going to keep this white on here. I think it's really pretty. So good job!